Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I'm Tina Jha, you're watching Perspective. On the show today, we are going to talk about a significant milestone achieved by the Indian Railways. In just a few days from now, the country will witness the launch of its first ever Vande Bharat Sleeper Train, a development that marks the next big leap in India's rail modernization journey. Faster, safer and designed for comfort, this next generation train blends cutting-edge technology with a world-class passenger experience and promises to redefine overnight rail travel. That is the vision outlined by the Ministry of Railways for the Vande Bharat Sleeper Train. The first of these trains will operate on the Guwahati-Howrah route connecting Assam and West Bengal. According to details shared by the Ministry of Railways, the Vande Bharat Sleeper Train will have 16 coaches, which include 11 3-tier AC coaches, 4 2-tier AC coaches and 1 first-class AC coach, with a total passenger capacity of around 823 travellers. The train also boasts several modern and distinctive features that reflect a clear shift towards safer, smarter and more passenger-centric long-distance travel. So what exactly are these features and what truly makes the Vande Bharat Sleeper a potential game changer for overnight journeys in India? These are some of the questions that we will be discussing on the program today. Joining me are two distinguished guests. I'm pleased to welcome Mr. P.K. Srivastava, former General Manager, Indian Railways, and Mr. Sachin Bhanushali. He's an infrastructure expert, a former CEO of Gateway Rail Freight Limited and advisor to the Logistics Committee at FICCI. Gentlemen, thank you for your time. Welcome to Sansad TV. Mr. Srivastava, you've been part of the Indian Railways for quite long and at a position from where perhaps you could better understand what it takes to modernize a network which moves millions of people every day. So let's begin first with your thought on how significant is the introduction of a semi-high-speed Vande Bharat sleeper train in India in the broader context of the modernization of Indian Railways?
Yeah, very pertinent. Thank you, Tina, for organizing this program, because it will go miles into the people of this country. As you know, Indian Railways is the lifeline of this country. You know, when we go abroad, we find very few people traveling by good trains because they are costly and all that. But in India, you can't afford, because in India it's the lifeline, and everything matters as to how you plan these trains. So this Vande Bharat, the new concept, is basically, I'll give an example. For example, I'm from Mumbai, and I have been handling Mumbai Suburban for almost 15 long years. These why is it so that the Mumbai Suburban people, Mumbai Suburban network carries almost 50% of the passengers of the country, 50% almost. It is possible because you have a electrical multiple unit train, EMU. This concept has been replicated onto the Vande Bharat. That means it's a electrical multiple unit train. Now, what do we understand by electric multiple unit for the common parlance? It is that normal train will have one locomotive with some 14, 18, 20, 24, even 26 coaches at the moment. So the acceleration becomes slow, your braking becomes slow, because the braking and acceleration, everything has to start from the driver, and it percolates down the train. It is not so in Vande Bharat or in the electrical multiple unit. In electrical multiple unit, when there are every alternate coach is a motor coach. Now, motor coach is where you have motors below the coach. So that means when the driver is accelerating a train, it will accelerate the entire train simultaneously, which is a need of the hour, and that is why the acceleration rate goes to 0.7 to 0.8 meter per second square and all that. So it's a very fast accelerating train, number one, and braking also. Once you brake, normally your system has got air brakes and all that, but Vande Bharat has got this air brake, which is electro-pneumatic brake. When you apply the brakes, the entire train gets application of brakes, and therefore it is very, very useful for the for the network where you can call it a very fast train where it accelerates very fast and it brakes very fast. So these are the certain features about the rolling stock itself. And it has got engines on the both sides, not really engines, the driving cab on the both sides, which means that you don't have to take out the locomotive from one side and put it on the other end at the terminal station. So immediate reversal, etc., is possible. There is another very wonderful feature of this train. So, you just reach a station and then only the driver comes from the rear, this thing to the front, and he starts driving it again. So the changeover time is somewhere around 3 to 4 minutes only. So which is again very fast. So these are the main things which puts it apart from the general trains in the country. In addition to that, the comfort features. You must have seen the video recently shown by our honorable railway minister where a glass of water was capped, and he was showing that it is running at 180 kilometer per hour, and the water is not shaking, which we have experienced long back in the trains abroad. Now here the issue is that you have air brake system. Now air suspension system. Now air suspension system is the one where you have wonderful air bellows below the coaches, which support the coach weight. And therefore, the entire train almost floats onto the air bellows, and therefore the riding quality, etc., is almost nearly perfect. So that is about the comfort thing. About the safety thing, in comfort you can add some more things like it has broader seats, it has got charging points, and this has become a way of life now. You have to have these things.
You already covered a lot of ground as far as the distinctive features are concerned. With regard to the comfort, the technological upgrade that Vande Bharat Sleeper Train brings. Let me bring in Mr. Bhanushali also into the discussion, get his viewpoint from an infrastructure standpoint, from a mobility standpoint, how significant this transformative train is going to be. But also one question that comes to mind is that we see on time-sensitive routes, Mr. Bhanushali, overnight train journeys often compete with air travel. Now that the Ministry of Railways has made an effort through the Vande Bharat Sleeper Train to make overnight train journeys comfortable, safer, and most importantly, faster, do you see the Vande Bharat Sleeper as a viable alternative to the short-haul flights?
Thank you, Tina. Thanks for having me on the show. And Mr. Srivastava has already covered a lot of ground as far as the technical features and the comfort features of the train is concerned. So I will not repeat that. But I will start by saying that if we look at the international semi-high-speed and high-speed train contours, all are operated with electric multiple unit train sets vis-a-vis locomotive drawn coaches in the traditional format. Two distinctive advantages which I see here are that it's basically the best EV that you can have in any country. So it is an electric vehicle. And so from a sustainability point of view, I think in passenger rail transport, this is a very significant step. And since Indian Railways have almost completed 100% electrification of the entire network, this is a big step towards the sustainability aspect or carbon footprint aspect of Indian Railways is concerned. Second thing is that the entire manufacturing approach to making of these trains have made these trains very different. They have automatic closing doors. They have modern lavatories. These trains are manufactured rather than fabricated. So just to give you an example of yesteryear, if you compare a Fiat or an Ambassador of 1960s and 70s with a Maruti Suzuki or a Toyota Corolla of 2020s, that is the kind of difference that we see as far as the build quality of these trains is concerned. Right. So that makes a lot of difference as far as the user is concerned. And if you look at the international experience with respect to the multiple electric multiple unit train sets which are used, be it Eurostar or Thalys, or for that matter, the famous intercity express of Deutsche Bahn. It basically moves in that direction as far as passenger transport is concerned. So that is the first significant part is concerned. Second part, which you mentioned, I think is very relevant. There has been a great deal of increase in civil aviation air travel by Indians, particularly in the overnight segment. Whereas intercity to some extent still continues to be the area of railways. The overnight segment also caters primarily to the people who are willing to pay a little more, as well as people who are in a little urgency as far as the time factor is concerned. However, even today, if you look at any overnight train service in India, the demand is still not being fully met with.
Yes.
And if, in addition to that, if you add quality of service by providing a sleeper class train, this is the first time that we are going to have a sleeper class train available in the Vande Bharat format. I think this will become a major attraction with people who are able to plan their travel in advance. So non-business, tourism and family visit travel is something significantly, definitely going to look at Vande Bharat as a product. And once it starts, one more thing which I feel important is that the connection of the northeast to Calcutta through the Chicken Neck by using a Vande Bharat train will significantly change the contours of northeast travel going towards Guwahati. So these are the things that matter a lot. In addition to that,
towards the broader economic and logistical integration of India's northeast, it's going to play a very, very critical role in that aspect. But since you mentioned about this one being the first sleeper train in the Vande Bharat series, Mr. Srivastava, one question that I had in mind for you was, all this while we've seen Vande Bharat platform beginning with chair car services. It's been quite a success in several routes. But when we talk about the sleeper trains, what are some of the operational or maybe the engineering challenges that arise, keeping in mind India's geography, but also the huge population that the Indian Railways caters to? So when you are adapting to a platform which is more suitable for long distance overnight travel, what are some of the key challenges that the Ministry of Railways has had to face?
Yeah, if you go back to this Shinkansen thing which happened in Japan in between Tokyo and Osaka, basically the difference was that people will go from home to airport, then the flight, then the waiting time, getting off and other things, etc., and then disembarkation and all. While this is going from center of the city to center of the city, and therefore it becomes very, very popular. And it really killed the aviation industry because you were able to almost match up the same timings or sometimes even less in certain countries. So the challenges, rather than challenges, there are more comforts here. In fact, if I tell you, if you see, I'm in Mumbai, a lot of people who travel between Mumbai and Delhi, you have only these prestigious Rajdhani trains which are not really overnight, because you start at almost 4:35 o'clock from Bombay, and then you are able to reach Delhi at about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock in the morning. So, but even then, a lot of people want to travel by this because it is an overnight train. By the time you have your snacks, your dinner, and you sleep well, if the train ride is comfortable, and morning you get up with some breakfast, and then you're ready for your work because you can get ready in the train itself. And you finish your work in the daytime, and again evening you take the same train back and you're back to Mumbai. So these are really passenger friendly concepts if you go for these sleeper trains. So there are, if you talk of challenges, then certainly, especially when you talk of comforts and safety, there are two things. One is about the comfort. Comfort means if you have traveled by these Rajdhani trains, or some other trains, faster trains, you will have these little shocks, etc., because of the coupler between the coach to coach. Now here the latest type of couplers have been used, which are almost shock-proof type. So this again is a very, very good feature which has been used. And on the safety front, these trains are going to be put up with Kavach Kavach is the latest buzzword. We have already done in ECR. We have East Central Railway. We have done in Mathura section and all that. These are the trains, so that these are all safety oriented. So these are the two things which were of concern about the comfort and about the safety, and both are being catered for.
But what about maintenance and turnaround time? Because when we talk about the high performance trains, when people are paying
right.
more
I think
for their train
I missed
travel.
out. I missed out on that. Yes,
so,
maintenance is. Yeah,
I'm curious to know, does the railways have a different rule book for the Vande Bharat series? Because for the conventional rakes, maintenance and turnaround has been a key challenge.
Yes, you're right. In fact, if you consider a normal train, when you reach Delhi, the train will be pulled back and taken to the maintenance pit, where it used to take 6 to 7 hours earlier. Now it was taking about almost 3 hours. So the maintenance time has been reduced, and then again it is pulled back, and then it comes back for operation. But in Vande Bharat and all, these are the trains where the first inspection has been kept after almost 6 trips. So that means, you don't have to just do this pulling in, pulling out, etc. And then, it has got features which are remotely monitored. When the train enters, suppose New Delhi, or it enters Mumbai, the remote cameras will be reading the rooftop, which will be seeing whether the pantograph condition is all right or not. The cameras which are put down, they will be monitoring whether the wheels are having proper temperature, whether there is no temperature rise in certain wheel or something because of brake skidding or something. So almost the things which were being done at the stabling lines or the pit lines, etc., are being done almost in run. And most of these features are being recorded onto the train, which are either giving a warning to the alert to the driver, or it is storage. It is putting it into the storage system, where as soon as the rake comes, the things are downloaded, and the person is able to, the maintenance supervisor or something, he is able to see within about 10 minutes what are the main things which have to be attended. So there are practically no challenges as far as maintenance is concerned in these trains.
Okay. So how are we scaling up for the sleeper Vande Bharat services nationwide is something that I will also come to you to understand. But Mr. Bhanushali, you spoke earlier on about how important is it in context of the rail connectivity being important for regions like the Northeast and Eastern India, because it contributes towards broader economic and logistics integration of this region. I had a question in that regard as well. What kind of economic multiplier effect do you think trains like these, which provide passenger comfort, which are much more faster, which could prove to be a viable alternative to air travel, which is often seen as an expensive one, what kind of impact do you see it having on areas like business travel, on tourism of the region, which this region has huge potential, but largely on regional development as well? This has been one focus area of the Modi government.
Yeah, so I think there is an adage there that development always travels by train. And if you provide connectivity, the possibility of developing a particular area in a significant way is far higher than doing it only by road transportation. Number one, it provides you with volume. So trains carry much more higher number of people than any road transport vehicle, be it a commercially operated bus, etc. is concerned. Second is that from a sustainability point of view, and that's a very significant point. So if you look at, let's say, India as a subcontinental size peninsular country, then traveling distances in India are far, far higher as compared to any country in general across Europe and Asia is concerned. Probable only exception is US. And the only efficient mode of transport is electric trains operated across multiple intercity formats as well as overnight formats, is something which will be required by in Indian context. Secondly, India also has a very large population to take care of. Within that large population, we have a migratory labor which seasonally has to be deployed into multiple locations, be it construction, be it agriculture, be it industries like mining, etc. There is a large amount of labor mobility which has to be provided by Indian Railways. In addition to that, we are a country which loves its culture, and so we have seasonal travels related to religious events, functions, festivals like Diwali, Holi, etc., wherein many people want to travel longer distances, be with their family, be with their friends. There is tourist transportation which has to take place. Now, these are all economic opportunities, and these economic opportunities open up when you come out with a solution which is both sustainable as well as energy efficient and is faster as compared to your normal format.
Right.
So I have no doubt in my mind that now that we have connectivity reaching almost all the 7 northeastern states, and I am sure over a period of time the government will endeavor to ensure that it goes deeper into these 7 states. And if we are able to run both intercity format trains as well as overnight trains in the Vande Bharat format, then we will have much more opportunity in terms of taking development into these regions.
Right.
I'll give you a very small example. And it's of course freight related example, but freight is something which is definitely going to follow once the network expansion in the northeastern area intensifies further. The unsung hero of Northeast is orange and the pineapple. And these are not being brought into the mainstream, both from an export point of view as well as consumption point of view, because we do not have efficient transportation system in place there. And if we are able to provide temperature control or ambient temperature transportation of agriculture produced from that area or horticulture produced from that area, that is definitely going to provide a great economic opportunity to, let's say, states like Meghalaya and beyond is concerned. In addition to that, connectivity of this kind also helps in integration of the people of that region with the rest of the country. Yes. You provide them with employment opportunities in the industrial areas of the country. So people living in northeastern state would be able to move into the mainland from point of view of employment much easier if regular services are available. And particularly in intercity format like, let's say, Guwahati and Calcutta, or for that matter beyond Guwahati as well, if we are able to provide frequent intercity services, then probably the commute also becomes much easier. I'll just give you an example. Delhi-Ahmedabad, at present there are 4 or 5 regular daily services, daytime services which are operated by Indian Railways. However, those are not sufficient. What needs to be done there is that dedicated passenger corridors need to be available on these routes, intercity routes, wherein every half an hourly there should be a train service. Yes. And this, I know it is a very difficult and economically very challenging goal to achieve. However, if you start running half an hourly service between Delhi and let's say 3 cities, Surat, Vadodara, Ahmedabad, and if people can buy a ticket and hop onto the train, then modal shift from road to rail is something which is going to be very significant, and it will save us from both emissions point of view. It will improve our carbon footprint. It will give us an EV opportunity for which we are kindly looking at road. I don't think we are looking at road, but I don't think that kind of revolution on the roads is likely to take place. That is why middle distance and long distance EV by way of Vande Bharat format trains in intercity as well as overnight express is going to be the way forward. And it not only brings produce of that area into the rest of the country, but it also takes the rest of the country into that area. It will give you an opportunity for tourism. Today, if let's say I want to go from here into Arunachal Pradesh, if I need to go to Itanagar, I need to plan my travel at least 120 days in advance. Yes. But if the frequency of service increases, then I'll be able to just buy a ticket and 15 days in advance, and we'll be able to travel into that area. I can go to multiple places by boarding onto such trains.
Wow, so it's one train we are talking about, but it opens up multiple avenues for connectivity, for economic opportunities, for tourism, for development, most importantly for integration of the people of that region with the rest of the country. So many aspects highlighted by Mr. Bhanushali, but the next big expectation, Mr. Srivastava, is going to be that how are we strengthening our infrastructure and our rail networks to scale up services of the Vande Bharat sleeper trains nationwide, because there are more areas which would require and which will have a similar kind of impact in the manner in which people travel?
You're very right. It's a demand supply situation. After so much time, actually, it should have happened yesterday. These type of trains and high speed trains and other things. The first thing which comes is the manufacturing of the rakes itself. Now, at the moment, ICF and BML, they have taken this opportunity. As you know, we have a typical tendering system and, a lot of issues here and there. So, but still, we have taken off and the first rake is already there. So, manufacturing capacity has to be increased. More sources have to be identified. Not only ICF and BML, some more people who are into this field. Some people in Hyderabad, in Calcutta, I know of these people. They can do this job, and we should tap all these sources. And there should be a parallel tendering system so that we are able to really inject much more number of rakes. Number one is that, so that it is a question of once you are able to get these rakes, you can inject these rakes onto the mainline trains. And as Mr. Bhanushali was mentioning that you have to reach the other places. So now with this 100% electrification achievement, you can shift the existing trains which will be released from the existing network after the Vande Bharat is introduced, can shift on to those feeding networks, etc., where issues are there. So number one is about the number of rakes itself, and number two is the electric vehicle, the overhead system. Now, this is a high-speed train, and there is going to be very heavy requirement of the current from the overhead systems. So Indian Railway has got a very, very big program of converting the present 25 kV OHE system into 2 into 25 kV OHE system. Now, with this system, you will have practically no limitation on the number of trains being introduced in the sections. Now, these are the two very, very important features as far as these are concerned. And yes. Number three is about the maintenance manpower, which I mentioned already will never be a factor, because you are already going into the remote maintenance about the other things, etc. So manpower will never come in the way about this thing. Yeah, cleaning and other things will be a big way. Our social sensitivity also has to improve about the cleanliness, and I think people are doing it. When you travel in these trains, you find little children telling their parents that isko yahan mat pheko and all that, etc. So that awareness is coming
Absolutely.
up.
It has impacted travel behavior, of course, we've seen in recent years as well. But all in all, it's a significant moment in the evolution of the Indian Railways, but most importantly, for millions of people, for the Indians who rely on the overnight trains, the Vande Bharat Sleeper Train certainly holds the promise of a much better journey, one which will value time, which will give you comfort, and most importantly safety and reliability. So as this train now prepares to begin its journey, the focus will shift definitely from the promise that it makes to the kind of performance it gives, and how it's scaled up nationwide as well, with that hope of a wonderful train journey, especially for the overnight travels and the multiple avenues that it opens up for different sectors. It's time to wrap up the conversation today. Thank you once again, Mr. Bhanushali, Mr. Srivastav, for taking us through not just the features of the Vande Bharat Sleeper Train, but also talking to us about the economic multiplier effect and the impact on the passenger behavior and their experience in train travel. It's been wonderful having you with us on this program. And to you viewers, thank you very much for your time as well.
संसद टीवी के और भी प्रोग्राम्स देखने के लिए सब्सक्राइब करें हमारा YouTube चैनल और हाँ, इन्हें लाइक और शेयर करना ना भूलें।